We're joined today by Dr. Harsimran Sandhu, Associate Dean of the PGDM Banking and Financial Services Program here at IMT Ghaziabad. A professional with 18 years of experience as Standard Chartered and deep expertise in wealth management and financial services. A PhD at IIM Indore, Dr. Sandhu has dedicated his professional journey to bridging the gap between industry and academia through his research, consultancy. Now, after a successful career of nearly 2 decades in banking, what inspired your transition?
So I started my professional journey in about 2003 onwards, after my MBA, and it was a mutual fund. Mutual funds were not common in 2003. It was a very small industry. So the learning for my first exposure to investments was with a mutual fund, and about 16 years with Standard Chartered. I always had an inclination towards academia. My mother was a school teacher. From there, I think the academia kind of slipped into. And when I thought about academia, I wanted to come with full preparation in terms of doing a PhD. If you look at many professionals come to academia after spending about 15, 18 years without doing a PhD. So I took the other route out, saying doing a PhD. I passed on my PhD from IIM Indore in 2019. And 2021, I worked with the bank. And 21, obviously, I joined IMT. IMT being an institute which regards industry professional very much. So that was the start of my journey there.
And so that was your upbringing that turned you towards academia. There were no specific turning points that you would like to share?
I think this was a time to give back knowledge. What you looked at, what you gathered in the industry. I come from banking and investment industry, so I thought, why not to go back and share it with the students.
Wonderful. So from what I understand, Standard Chartered would actually give you a very good global exposure.
Yes.
So what's one crucial insight about international finance that you believe that textbooks often miss?
I think the one critical portion which the textbook makes is the behavioral part, which they mix out. Once you are on the trading floor, or once you're interacting with the customer, it's the behavior that comes into play, which I think completely textbook we miss out sometimes. You definitely know the numbers and the theories behind it, but when you are in front of a customer, you want the solution there and then only, am I right? So I think that's something which textbooks miss out completely out. And after the emergence of behavioral finance, I would say, some things have taken care of from this side. And the other part is the intuitive thinking. So taking a decision there and then only is something which I think textbooks don't cover.
Now, for students that are aspiring for a career in wealth management, we all know the advantages and we can always look up the advantages of the career. But what would you think are the biggest myths or understandings that students should be aware of?
So first myth is it's nothing about money. It's all about trust and relationship. Money comes third, I would say. Once you have built a relationship with your customer or investor and you have built that trust, because ultimately he's giving you trust, am I right? If you're handing over your money in wealth management, it's all about trust. Once that is taken care of, rest everything falls in place. I think most of the people falter in terms of either having trust or I think not building enough relationship with the client. These are the two critical things I think in wealth management people or students should look for.
Wonderful. Okay, so drawing from your research in behavioral finance, what is the most critical principle you teach students over here?
So it will be about system 2 thinking. When they are thinking about any product or any investment product, they should think about that this is going to create a very long-term implication on the investor, right? Think about an insurance product. It's a 15 to 20 year product, but it is sold in minutes, am I right, over a phone. But look at the implication for the investor. It is about 15, 20 years he has to live with that product. Look at any of the structured products, which are for 5 years. The investment decision is done in a couple of minutes. But look at the implication for the investor. It is about 5 years that he has to live with that product. So I think it's all about pausing, thinking about what is the implication of that product in his life. That's something which is very important.
That actually brings me to my next question, because drawing from your career, you have also mentioned the high stakes of the financial world. And how do you make that reality aware for the students in IMT Ghaziabad? And how would you say that the institute actually encourages teaching the students about the high stakes?
I think banking is all about high stakes. Being from the BFSI industry and be from investment, every decisions you make has a huge implication of people's lives because everything is linked to money. What we teach in classes is all about regulations, how a single, let me take an example of Standard Chartered. Any slip in any of the regulations, you are able to pay about crore and crore of rupees to the regulator. Look at Fed, where Deutsche had to pay $1 billion of currency to Fed because they flouted some norms of the regulation. So I think when you are working in banking specifically, look about regulations, look about trust, and look about intuitive thinking. These are the three different aspects that we look at for students in IMT Ghaziabad.
You make complex finance more accessible in your colleges. What is the one financial topic that you believe that every Indian should take more seriously today?
I think it will be about personal finance, how to look forward to how to manage your personal finances, because you work hard. Your money has to work harder than you, am I right? So it's all about compounding. It's all about long-term thinking about your wealth rather than short-term trading ideas. Think about investment as a long-term money creator for you, am I right? So you work hard, your money has to work harder, and your money can only work harder when you think long-term with relation to money and funds.
Now, beyond technical skills, what is the one personal quality that you believe students must develop?
I think apart from IQ, I think EQ is extremely important. As you go and work in a corporate, it's all about EQ. How do you interact with people? How do you build your networks? How people think about you? Do your customers trust you when you're discussing financial products with them? So it's all about EQ, I would say.
And how do you believe that building that applies for maintaining ethicality when you go into the industry?
I think ethics is the underlying thing that when you are suggesting any financial products, ethics comes into play. Integrity is something which is non-negotiable when you are in this industry. A lot of people, and there are many instances, am I right? People at top positions have compromised with their integrity with relation to money. It's all about integrity, and I think that's something which we emphasize in classes as well. When I'm teaching wealth management or fixed income securities, how integrity, how trust, integrity are so important when you're dealing with clients, when you're dealing with regulators, how that you disclose everything about the product, how you disclose everything what the bank does to the regulator. So it creates some kind of a trust between the regulator and the banks that we normally discuss in classes as well, through case studies, through some of my personal experiences in Standard Chartered.
How would you say that IIB actually fosters this skill building in soft skills as well as technical skills? Because as a dean, you would know how the class is structured. So far we've only talked about the technical questions, but how do you believe both combine?
So if you look at our full-time faculty, it is a good mix of people who cover from academia to academia and people from pure industry background like me. And the visiting faculty also are taken from industry as well. So when you're discussing some real cases with the students, that this has happened, that this is what are the implications of, this I think means a good bedrock for them kind of think about and link to these what they're discussing in networks. So I think there are three aspects: visiting faculty, the from industry, the core faculty, who's a mix of both industry and pure academia. It's a very good mix to also build a.
Now, sir, from your global experience as Standard Chartered, what is one crucial thing about international finance that you believe textbooks often miss?
Singapore, Hong Kong. These are the three major centers for Standard Chartered. Though Standard Chartered is present throughout India, but if you have to ask me, all the metros in India, Singapore and Hong Kong, these are the three major centers Standard Chartered. All the policies of Standard Chartered, whatever we implement, are originating from Singapore, which is the headquarters, our South Asia headquarters, and London, which is our global headquarters. So whenever we implement any regulation or any implementation of any decision, we always think about the global impact about that decision, because you think about it that Indians are right now completely global, am I right? They have assets in Singapore, they have assets in London, they have assets in New York. So whenever you're taking a decision, a bank like Standard Chartered, when it's taking a decision, it thinks about their assets in other cities as well, or other countries as well. So one of the aspects which I've learned over the years is that whenever you're thinking for any global citizen, think about regulations of other countries also, and how does those regulations impact the investor? So, for example, I'm present in India. I'm a relationship manager for the investor in India, but I have to be ready with the regulations in Singapore. I have to be ready with the regulations in Hong Kong. And how does it impact customer assets? Any decisions which I take in India. Because of it could be because of taxation that are present in those countries. It could be some regulations regarding to some cross-border transactions. So any transaction that we do, we think about global implication, and that's something which Standard Chartered kind of ingrained into every relationship managers they hire.
About behavioral finance, what is the most critical principle that you teach students to help them avoid any costly emotional or cognitive biases?
I think people are overconfident. People have anchoring bias. People kind of stick to a number and then think about a number. Suppose I'll just give you an example. If I tell you what your expectation that how equity markets will do, people will say 15%. But where is this number coming from? 15% growth. It is coming from anchoring, because you keep listening to the TV and news, and they talk about 15% growth, and suddenly that number becomes an anchor in your life, and you subconsciously you think that is the number that I should quote to investors also. So that becomes an anchoring bias. People are overconfident about their skills, am I right? When they're suggesting customers. So you have good returns in your portfolio in equities. You think that could be replicated to investor also without looking at his risk profile, whether he will be able to take that much of volatility or not. So that's something one. And second, I think we don't pause and think too much. We want to give immediate solutions, and that's I think we should go with that Daniel Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow, where he's talking about system two, just to pause, and then maybe give a solution. We should not be very intuitive. Like driving driving. Everybody knows how to drive, but when it comes to investment, we should pause and then maybe give a suggestion to the investor. So I think these couple of principles you can think about in behavioral finance.
And as a consultant in the fast evolving fintech space, where do you see the most exciting career opportunities in today's financial world?
Payments attract the highest amount of venture capital at private equity funds. Payments is something which has completely shifted from banks to fintech firms. So it is now, it's all about collaboration. It is not about that who wins, either the fintech firms or the banks. It's that banking has to work with the fintech firms in the area of payments. So that's something which I think is a very evolving field.
Now, thinking back to the start of your own journey, what is one piece of advice that you would want to give to students now who are at the brink of their journey too?
So one piece of advice is that this is a long-term career, am I right? Don't think short-term immediately. When you go to the campus, people want certain kind of jobs, certain kind of companies they want to target. Think about what you like. This is extremely important because what you like, money will follow for that aspect. What students make a mistake of, that they want to go in brands which they feel are fancy, which students think that they will, when they go out in the society, they'll say, okay, I'm from JP Morgan or I'm from Morgan Stanley, and they might not like the job actually. So I would recommend a student start a career which you like and which you can sustain for long. Money will follow.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing all of the insights that you did today, and thank you for your time.
Thanks so much.